Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you business study for chapter first, that is nature and purpose of business. As you have seen near to your surrounding, many activities is going like a general store, a retail shop, many manufacturing companies are there that you have seen. Flour mills, rice mills, plumber shops, electrical shops, many shops are there that we have seen near to our surrounding. These all activities are considered a part of business. Now, before starting, this is the introduction of this chapter. I am going to start with the definition of business that make it clear why these activities are considered as a business. As in business, according to the definition, trading of goods and services for earning more and more profit or for profit maximization is known as business. Any activity which is to be established for producing or procuring goods and services, and that is to be established that for the main motive for profit maximization is known as business. So business concept is clear to everyone. Now I am going to tell you the activities which is going in our, as many activities that is to be conducted by human. So I am going to tell these activities in a brief way. Types of human activities. Types of human activities, in that there are two types of human activity: economic activities and non-economic activity. So firstly I am going to make you understand economic activity. Economic activities are those activities which engage the individual, which engage the people to do some work for earning their livelihood, that is, and fulfilling their basic needs, is known as economic activities. Those activities which engage the people in some work, for by doing that work they are earning their livelihood for fulfilling their basic needs, is known as economic activities. Now, what type of activities are there under the economic activities? Some common activities that is to be conducted by these individuals or by the people of countries, by the people of economy, that are employment, business, profession. Employment, business and profession. First I am going to make you understand about employment. Employment, in that when a person is doing or rendering his services to someone, and when he is doing the work under some owingship and controllingship and under the instruction of someone, that type of activities, and against it he is getting some income by rendering his services, that type of activities is known as employment. That type of activity is known as employment. Now I am going to make you understand next activity of economic, that is business. Business, it is a part of economic activity in which the person established, produce or procure, that means arrange the goods and services for fulfilling the or for satisfying the needs and want of the customer for the motive to earn income or profit, that is to be considered as business. For example, if I am examples also I am going to give you after make you understand with the meaning. So business is clear. Next, profession. Profession means when a person have some special knowledge and practice some that activity that is in a particular field. When he providing services in a particular field, having a special knowledge, that is to be considered as profession. Now I am going to make you understand these all activities with the help of example. Employment, suppose a person is working in factories, this is to be called as employment. manufacturing companies, person is working any shop in any shop, it is to be considered as a part of employment. Business, when a person is established any business, that's you know it very well. For example, a retail shop, general stores, owning their own electrical shop, electronic shop, cosmetic shop, garment shop. These are to be the example of business. Farms, many activities are there. Next, profession. Profession, in that field you have person have a special knowledge in a particular field, then he is to be considered as professional. For example, doctor, teacher, lawyer, they are to be considered as professional. That is clear to everyone. Next, activities, that is non-economic activities. Non-economic activities are those activities that is to be carried out by the individual for personal satisfaction, for psychological satisfaction. When any activity is to be performed, or when any service is rendered by the individual to someone for their psychological and personal satisfaction, that is to be considered as non-economic activity. For example, moving to temple, gurdwara, mosque, church, that is a part of non-economic activities. What services we are giving over there, that is a part of non-economic activities. Providing giving donation, charity to the people, that is to be part of non-economic activities. That is clear to everyone. Next, I am going to tell you the features of nature and features of business. Nature and features of business. The first feature, that is, it is an economic activity. It is an economic activity. How it is to be considered as an economic activity? Because business, in that whatever the person is engaged in some to carry out some work in production and procurement of goods and services for satisfying the needs, for earning revenue, and for profit maximization. So in that he is rendering his services against to get the revenue. So that's why business is to be considered as economic activity. That is clear to everyone. Next, I am going to tell you, that is procurement of goods and services. Procurement of goods and services. Arrangement of procurement or production of goods and services. In business, either the goods and services are to be produced by the individual or arranged from different manufacturer on one place and providing to the customer for fulfilling their needs. So that's why the next feature of business, that is procurement of goods and services, means arrangement of goods and services, and also they are producing the goods and services for satisfying the wants and need of the customer. The goods are to be arranged or produced by keeping in mind the needs and want of the customer that they are expecting from your product. That is clear. Next feature, that is sale of goods and services for satisfying human needs. Sale of goods and services for satisfying needs. Whatever the goods are to be produced or to be arranged, it is not to keep in a warehouse as a stock. They are not to be kept in some museum and all. No. These goods are to be produced or arranged for what purpose? For selling in the market, for satisfying the needs and want of the customer. So the humans can satisfy their needs and want by getting these goods and services. As human wants and human needs are unlimited, and for satisfying these needs they have to purchase goods, they require goods. To this business, they are selling these goods and services for satisfying the human needs and want of the customer against exchange of money. That is clear to everyone. Next, I am going to make you understand, that is dealing in goods and services on regular basis. Dealing in goods and services on regular basis. Whatever the goods and services is to be produced it is not produced or procured for a short period or a few days or few months or few years. No, the goods and services that is to be provided to the customer, that is on the regular basis. As the consumer, they have to survive in the life, they require these basic needs, that is food, shelter, clothes. So these things should be provided continuously on the regular basis by the businessman. So the firm is able to produce that goods continuously on the regular basis, and the customer is able to consume that goods in a well manner, and they will fulfill their basic needs as well as their wants can be satisfied by. If the goods are not available, how it is to be possible to fulfill the needs and want of the customer? So for fulfilling the needs and want of the customer, the goods should be available on regular basis. Means there is no shortage of goods and services in the market by the business. If businessman, if the production unit, they are not producing goods on the regular basis, how is to be possible by the human beings to survive in the market? So that's why the goods should be deal or provide or produce or arrange on regular basis, not for a few days or for short period of time. That is clear. Next, that is an important feature, that is profit earning. Now whatever the goods is to be produced, procured, and it is to be sold, and it is to be dealing with the customer on regular basis, these are not for providing as a social services. No, the goods are to be arranged, the goods are to be produced, and it is to be provided continuously on the regular basis for earning more and more profit. And because if they are not earning profit, how is to be possible by the businessman to bear their expenses? With the help of factor of production, they are able to produce the goods, and if they are selling these goods if they are providing these goods as a social services or for the satisfaction of society, not for the earning profit or revenue, firm is not able to bear their expenses, as the business is not only having one objective for fulfillment of societies. There should be if more profit is there, if they will earn profit, then they are able to establish their business and they can survive and expand their business for a long period of time. Next, that is uncertainty of risk. As you know, in the business and business activity, the firm, the people, they have to face lots of problem in day to day, uncertainty in day to day. But in business, if they are not taking any type of risk, they will not get any benefit, because if firm is taking risk, then they are able to earn profit. If they are not taking any type of risk, they are not able to get any type of profit or any type of revenue. That is clear to everyone. That's why uncertainty of risk. Business is risky activities, as many, sometime demand will fall, sometime inflation will means the price of the product, means some policy of the government has changed, sometime competitors policy have changed. So many risks are there in business activity, and the businessman have to face this uncertainty of risk daily, and according to his plan, according to his skills, by using his skills, many techniques are there, he can face that risk and overcome from this risk and also earn more and more profit. Is clear? Now I am going to tell you the next topic, that is objective of business. Objective of business. As you know, everyone, they have some type of objective. Either it is as employees, they are joining the firm with some objective that they should earn more income and fulfill their needs and wants. Why only needs? Wants also, desire also. Businessmen also. And we are also having some type of objective for performing any type of activity. Same as it is if I am talking about business. Businessmen also have objective, and their main objective, the primary and main objective is that to earn more and more profit in this competitive market. So, but if the that sole objective, it is to be applicable only when businessmen have established their business before 1991. But after 1991, when LPG policy have been introduced in the market, after that period, the many economic reforms have changed and many firms have joined for producing particular product. So they have not only a single objective, they have multiple objective, and they have to fulfill that objective, achieve that objective for surviving in this competitive market and for earning more and more income. So the common objective that every businessman have, that these are economic objective, social objective, and individual, or we can say human objective. Economic, social, and individual objective. Now I am going to make you understand one by one all these objectives. The first objective, that is economic objective. Economic, that is the main objective of every businessman, that is to earn more and more profit, and that can be done only with the 3 motto, the 3 objective that every businessman have. The first, I am going to make you understand survival. Yes, anyone, those who want to establish their business, they want that their business should run for a long period of time. Means they will, if they will join this market, if they want to involve in this activity, he will be involved for a long period of time, not for a few period or for a short period of time. No. The first motto, that whenever anyone who want to, he want that I can survive in this competitive market by providing my services to the people. So how can he survive? So that is the first motive of every businessman, that he can survive in the competitive market for a long period of time. No, none of the businessman want that when suppose he is going to establish the business today, so no one is going to wish that I am going to wind up that business very soon. No, he want that he can survive his business, establish his business for a long period of time, and he can run his business smoothly. So that is the first motive of every business, to survive in the market. Next, profit. That I have told you, the main objective of every businessman to earn more and more profit. Profit earning, that is the important part of every businessman, because on the basis of profit, survival and growth is based. If the person is earning more and more profit or continuous profit, then he is able to survive in the competitive market. If he is not earning, if he is incurring loss or less profit, he is not going to go with that business for a long period of time. He is going to wish to wind up that business. So that is the next motive and main important motive, the profit earning. Next, growth. Growth means to expand the business. He is going to expand the business activities, means establishing more and more branches, shops, industries. Size, nature of the business is going to increase. That is growth. So every businessman that have the objective, whatever the business I was in initial stage, every businessman want to increase in future, that it will be increasing, the nature and size of the business is going to be increasing, means there will be a expansion of the business activity, and that is only to be done when the person is earning profit in that field. If he is not earning profit, he is not going to expand his business, and there will be no growth in the business activities. So for For example, suppose one person have started with a small shop. He is going to situated in some society, in one society. So he want that this shop should not be of this size for the lifetime. He want to increase this shop at a large scale also, at a mid scale also. That is clear to everyone. That is growth. One example I can give, that in your city one person is there, that is Agra Chaat Bhandar, that you have listened. He was established his business with only having a cart. In that cart he was selling the, now after that he is going to modify that cart. After he is going to establish one restaurant, now one more sweet shops. So how's to be done? Because he has survived in this competitive market and he is earning more and more income. That's why he is expanding his business to fulfill the needs and want of the customer. That is clear. Next I'm going to tell you, that is social objective. Social objective. First objective, that is the another objective that every businessman, that is social objective. Social objective, what people have done, that is supply of desired quality of product. The first objective that every customer or society are expecting from the businessman, that this business or this production unit produce a desired quality of product. So that is the first objective regarding the social objective, that is they can supply the good quality of product into the market for fulfilling the satisfied needs and want of the customer. Because if they are not supplying a desired quality or good quality of product, consumer, the society are going to refuse their product and consuming the competitors' product. Next, avoidance of unfair trade practices. Avoidance of unfair trade practices means the another objective that everyone is expecting from business man, that they are not go through with any unfair trade practices like black marketing, adulteration, selling the product at higher prices. No, whatever the product should be sale, it should be sale at a reasonable price, so the customer will be satisfied. Black marketing should be not there. Hoarding should not be there, means he is going to keep the goods as a stock as he get to know that the price will be rise in future. So he is not going to keep that good as a stock, and whenever the price is going to be rise, he is going to sell that. No, that unfair practice should be avoided by the businessman if he want to survive in the market. Next, employment generation. Employment generation, it means that as wheresoever in which place, if businessman is establishing a business, so he should create employment opportunity near to the society where his business exists. As this it is a creation of society, the business is creation of society, though they have to must do something for the society also. So they should, the business should create some employment opportunity to that society where their business exists. Next, that is social services. Next things that every businessman they have to do if they want to survive in this market, that providing some social services, doing some social services, so society will be helpful and will be helpful for making their goodwill, for making their image in the eyes of public. Like the businessman can, if large business are there, they can going to establish dispensary for providing a basic health facility to the people near to the society or near to the business unit. Education, if it is possible, school can be situated. They can plant more and more tree. If small business are there, small business units are there, they can plant more and more tree in that society. So it will protect the environment, it will make the eco-friendly environment. That is clear. Next, avoidance of pollution. Avoidance of pollution means as many business units are there which create pollution and it will pollute the environment of the country, which will of that society. So if they are creating any pollution, so there is the primary duty of every businessman that it should be clear by them only. They should take initiative to clear it. If they are draining a wastage in the river which is situated near to the society, they can, so if they are draining it, so it's their primary duties of businessman to clean it also. That is clear to everyone. And always they should take eco-friendly techniques to make the environment eco-friendly. That is clear. Now I am going to tell you the next objective, that is human or individual objective. Human or individual objective, as it is not a consumer. These objectives, it is to be achieved by businessman for fulfilling the needs and want of the employees, those who are working in the business unit. Because of them, because of their efforts, firm is able to achieve the economic objective, achieve the organizational objective. So they have to fulfill their needs and want also. The first thing that they have to do, that is they should provide a good working condition so the employees feel safe and secure and put their best efforts to do for carried out the work efficiently and effectively. Next, that the business unit should provide a adequate salary or competitive salary to their employees, so they will get motivated and put their best efforts. Because if they are getting less salary according to their qualification and work, they will not put their best efforts for achieving the organizational goal. Next, development of employees by providing training. That they should give the training also. They should provide the training to their employees and train them, so they will work, and so it can develop their skills, their talent, their knowledge, and that knowledge, developed skills, knowledge can be utilized by the employees for putting in organizational activity of the firm, of the organization, and they will put their best for achievement of organizational goal, and they incur less resources, mean they can going to waste less resources or no wasting of resources as they are trained better. Peer recognition. Every employees, they want that. What they want, that where we are working, we get some respect over there. We get some respect over among the employees. If they are not getting that type of respect, or the people are treated harshly, they will not perform their tasks in a well manner. They are not able to do the work because they get frustrated over there. That is clear. So these are the objective of business. Now I am going to tell you what profit that is to be earned by the business. What is the role of it? What is the role of that profit? The first is survival. The first as the profit play a very important role. The first role the profit is going to play for the survival purpose. The first is survival. Obviously, if any business, if the businessman want to survive in this competitive market, he can survive in this market only when he is earning more and more profit in this competitive market with this business unit. If he is not going to earn, he is not going to. That is the most important role that profit play for the surviving of business in the competitive market. Next, that is expansion and growth. Obviously, the profit play a very important role. If the businessman want to expand his business activities, if he want to growth of his business, then profit is required. If he is going to earn profit of that particular business, from that particular business, then he is able to expand that business by utilizing that more and more profit which is to be earned by businessman. That is clear. Next, that is symbol of efficiency. Symbol of efficiency, or we can say that index of performance. Any business can be analyzed or can be evaluated only, its performance can be analyzed or evaluated only on the basis of profit. If the firm is earning more and more profit, means the performance of business unit, it's very good. Because of that only they are able to earn profit. If it incur loss, so obviously that business are not successful, and we should remove that business from the economy. That is clear. Next, reward for bearing risk. As you know, in businessmen have to take many risks. Sometimes they are producing the goods by taking risk. Demand will be there or not. Maybe demand will be changed, maybe taste and preference will be changed, maybe the government policy will be changed. So they are taking many risks, and for taking that risk, bearing that risk, what profit they are earning, that is a reward for bearing that risk. It is a reward for taking that risk. As they have taken risk, so they should be rewarded as that profit that is to be earned by business unit. That is clear. Last, help to gain goodwill. Help to gain goodwill. Yes, if the firm is earning more and more profit, its goodwill means a good image of the people that is in the eye of public. So it is to be made, the goodwill should be made, or it can be made only when the firm is earning profit. Yes, the people are saying that XYZ company, they are earning more and more profit, so we should invest. So it is what? It is only a goodwill of the firm. And ABC Limited company, these are not earning, so we are not going to invest. So what is that? It is that the profit play a very important role or help to gain the goodwill of the firm in the eyes of public, to make a good image of the firm in the eyes of public. That is clear. Now the next topic, that is classification of business activities. Classification of business activities. The business activities is classified into two types, that is industry and commerce. Industry and commerce. That is clear. Now I am going to tell you that is first we will start with the industry. Industry, it is an activity which convert the raw material into useful product or into finished good is to be considered as industry. The activity which is to be involved in converting the raw material into useful product, that is to be considered as industry. Now it involves the activity like producing, procuring, processing, or rearing and reproduction of living or animals, birds and other species are called. That activity should be considered under the involved in the industry. That is clear. Now I am going to tell you types of industries. There are three types of industry, that is primary industry, secondary industry and tertiary industry. So one by one we are going to understand. First, primary industry. Under primary industry, the goods is to be the primary industries are those activities which involve the extraction of natural resources as well as the reproduction of living species are known as primary industry. The industry which involved in the extraction of natural resource and reproduction or rearing of living species are to be considered as primary industry. These are two types, extractive industry and genetic. So first of all I am going to make you understand extractive industry. Extractive industries are those industries which involve the process, or we can say the extraction of something from natural resources. These industries are carried out the extraction of something from natural resource such as mineral from earth, fish from sea or river, timber from forest. So that type of activities are to be considered under the extractive industries. Now I am going to tell you next, that is genetic industry. Genetic industry, it involves in the rearing and breeding of living species, living organisms, that these are birds, plants, animals are to be considered as a genetic industry. For example, rearing of cattle for milk, dairy farm, poultry farm, rearing of plant in nursery. These are the example of genetic industry. That is clear to everyone. Now I am going to tell you the next topic, that is secondary industry. Secondary industries are those industries which make use of the material or which can use of product which are extracted and produced by primary sector or primary industry for further production or for producing finished or semi-finished goods are to be considered as secondary industry. These are also categorized in two category, that is manufacturing and construction. So first of all, I am going to make you understand manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industries are those industries which involved in the process of to convert the raw material into some semi-finished or finished raw material. That type of industries are to be considered as manufacturing industries. That is clear to everyone. For example, timber is converted into furniture, sugarcane into sugar, cotton into textile. So that type of activities, it is to be that is your in the process of conversion of raw material into finished good. That is clear to everyone. Now, as I am talking, which type of goods should be produced or which types of goods are to be produced by the manufacturing industry. So there are two types of goods which is to be produced by the manufacturing industries, and these are first consumable goods and industrial goods. Consumer goods are those goods which directly consumed by the consumer and it will give a satisfaction to their needs and want. The day-to-day goods that is to be consumed by the consumer, for example, clothes, oil, bread, butter, soap, toothpaste, these are consumer goods. Capital goods are those goods which is to be used to produce the consumer goods. Capital goods are those goods which is to be used for producing consumer goods are to be known as capital goods. For example, machinery, that is equipments, tool which is to be used for producing consumer goods are to be considered as that is your manufacturing industry. That is clear. Industrial good or capital goods. Now I am going to tell you the types of manufacturing industry. So first, that is analytical. Analytical industries are those industries which involve the basic raw material. What process is to be done? They are going to break the raw material into different parts to produce the finished good. And thus, what process should be there in analytical industries? In that the raw material is to be broken into different parts and various parts to produce a finished good is known as analytical industry. For example, crude oil, it is to be broken into different parts for producing many finished products like petroleum, diesel, kerosene oil, gasoline. These are to be goods are to be produced by our crude oil. Next, I am going to make you understand that is synthetic industry. Synthetic industries are those industries in which two or more raw material are to be mixed to produce a finished good or to produce a new product, that is to be considered as synthetic industry. For example, two or more chemicals are to be mixed to produce soap, paint, and it's many things are there which is to be produced. That is clear. Next, I am going to make you understand that is processing unit. Processing industries are those industries in which the raw material is processed through various stages of production. For example, textile industry, iron and steel industry, sugar industries, these are the paper industry, these are the example of processing industry in which the process, the raw material is proceed through various stage of production. For example, if I am talking about textile industry, they are making cloth. So what they are doing? Firstly, the cotton will take as a raw material from primary industry and it will be converted into thread, then thread will cloth and like this. That is clear. Next, the last industry, that is assembly industry. Assembly industry, in that the industry which which combine the various finished product to form a new product. To form a new finished product is to be considered as assemble. Means in that they are assemble the different varieties of different parts of one good, and by combining it they are producing that good is to be considered as assemble. For example, computer, automobile, watches, these are the example. Television, these are the example of what. Automobile means car, vehicles, two-wheeler, four-wheeler vehicles. That is clear. These are assemble industry. That is clear to everyone. Now I am going to make you understand the next topic, that is construction. Under construction industry, there is the work that is carried out regarding the construction of something. For example, construction of building, construction of dam, construction of roads, construction of malls. These are the part of construction industry in which they use the product of manufacturing industry and produce or any product or construct any product that is to be considered as, like with the help of cement, iron, steel, lime, etc. They are going to make building, roads. That is to be considered as construction industry. That is clear to everyone. Okay, now this is the part of secretary. Now I am going to tell you the last, that is territory or service industry. Territory or service industries are the activities that provide some services for the smooth flow of goods and services in the market, in the economy. That activities, that industries are to be considered as territory or service industry. That industries or activities are to be considered as territory or service industry. In that, what type of services they are providing? Various services. This industry provide various services for the smooth flow of goods and services. That is transport. First, transport. This facility, this services provided by the sector for smooth flow of or the smooth movement of goods and services from one place to another place, from production place to consumption place. Next, banking. It provides credit facility to the manufacturer, to the trading firm, so they are able to run their activity in a in a smooth manner. They will not face any type of problem like lacking of financial resource. Insurance. This services is provided by these industry to protect the businessman from various types of risks, as they have to face many risks in the business, like fire. Sometimes fire get caught, sometimes because of flood. So because of these things they can protect it. Warehouse. This facility is to be given by this industry to protect or to place or to keep their goods safely, so they will utilize for different purpose. Even it is to be produced, whatever the goods that is to be produced by primary or secondary product that can be keep safe, and whenever it will be demanded they will supply it. Last, that is advertising. Advertising, in that they are providing information, they are making aware regarding the product to the consumer. That is clear to everyone. Now these activities are there. Now I am going to tell you the next type of business activities, that is commerce. That is commerce. In commerce, all those activities which help directly or indirectly in the distribution of goods and services to the ultimate consumer is to be considered as commerce. Means all activities which is to be involved in the in the smooth flow of distribution of goods and services to the ultimate consumer is to be considered as commerce. That is clear. Now I am going to tell you the function or the role of commerce for removing the barriers between the manufacturer and the customer. The first function that is to be performed by commerce, that is help in removing hindrance of person, help in removing hindrance of person. According to this, the commerce, as you know, there is a large variety of goods which is to be produced by a group of people, group of person. These are considered as producer, and the another group, those who are going to consume it, it is to be considered as consumer. So there is no direct link between the producer and consumer. So with the help of commerce, with the help of branch of commerce, it create a link between the producer and consumer. How? The trade segment, the trade branch, it helped to create a link between the producer and customer. It help in traders help in exchanging goods and services and produce to the ultimate consumer. That remove the barriers between producer and consumer. That is clear. Next, that is help in removing hindrance of place. As you know, goods are produced at one place, but customer are scattered in different corner. Means the goods are demanding in the different corner of the city. So this place gap, it removed by this create a place gap between the producer and consumer. So with the help of transport branch of commerce, it helped the consumer as well as producer to remove this gap by moving their goods, by helping to move their goods from the place of production to the place of customer, where the customer can easily approach there to purchase that goods. That is clear. Next, that I am going to tell you, help in hindrance of time. Help in hindrance of time. As you know, some goods are produced throughout the year but demanded seasonally, like AC, refrigerator, geyser and all. But some goods are there which produce seasonally but demanded throughout the year. So it creates the problem that the time gap, there is a time gap between the consumption and production and consumption, there is a time gap. So as we need to keep the goods safe, fresh during this time period, this time gap, a facility that is warehouse branch, it helped the people to remove this time gap barrier or time gap hindrance. They can keep, the people can keep the facility which is given by commerce, that they can keep their goods in the warehouse and keep as safe and fresh. For example, perishable goods, like they get a facility like cold storage house, inflammable goods in fireproof warehouse. So these are the facility which is to be given for removing this time gap period. That is clear. Next, help in removing of exchange. As you know, the goods and services which is to be produced by the producer, it is to be sold to buyer, obviously not in exchange of money. So the common medium of exchange, that is only circulated by the banking system, the banking branch of commerce. Bank help the buyer and seller in the transaction of goods and services, or in making and collecting payment. Now businessmen can easily send the money from one place to another with the help of bank draft, check facility, and even new trend is going net banking. With the help of internet, he can transfer from his account to the another one's account. That is clear. So it removes this barrier. Next is help in hindrance of risk. As there are various types of risk which businessman has to face in his day-to-day business activity. So because of the insurance branch, it helped the people to protect their goods or their product by insuring and by getting the compensation against that risk, if any risk will be happen, if any accident will be happen. For example, the common types of risk that is to be covered by insurance, like damage of goods during transit, means in the movement of goods, so there is some insurance policy. Storage of goods by fire, by flood, by rain, etc. So some insurance facilities, some insurance schemes are there to protect yourself by these risks and also get the compensation if you face any type of accident regarding it. Last, that is help in removing hindrance of knowledge. Generally, consumers and buyers, they are not aware regarding the product, the new goods which is to be produced by the manufacturer, as there is no direct communication between the manufacturer and customer. So it creates the problem that how the firms, industry are going to inform about the goods which they are producing to the customer. So that advertisement branch of commerce, it remove this barrier, this hindrance barrier of knowledge by awareing the customer about the new product, by informing regarding its product, its features and all. For example, with the help of electronic and print media, the industry can inform to the customer. That is clear. Now I am going to make you understand, that is classification of commerce. So it is to be, commerce is classified into two parts: trade and aids to trade, the tools which is used for trading purpose. So first of all, I am going to tell you what is trade. Trade means buying and selling of goods and services. Buying and selling of goods and services are to be considered as trade, and it is the important part of commerce that provide many facility and that remove many barrier in exchange of goods and services from producer to customer, and it act as a link between the customer and producer. Trade are two types: internal trade and external trade. Internal trade are those trade in which the goods and services are to be purchased and sold within the geographical limit, within the geographical boundary of the country. Means when the goods and services are to be purchased and sold within the country, then it is to be considered as internal trade. That is clear. Now in internal trade, this trade can be of two types: wholesale trade and retail trade. Now I am going to make you understand wholesale trade. Wholesale trade, it means buying and selling of goods and services in a large quantity, in a bulk, by the wholesaler. He is going to buy the goods directly from manufacturer in a large quantity and also sell these goods in a small lots to the retailer. That is considered as wholesale trade. In wholesale trade, wholesaler is generally specialized in one line product, means cosmetic of one's wholesaler, medicine ka one's wholesaler is there. That is clear. And he maintain a large stock of different varieties of that one line product and purchase these goods from manufacturer in cash and sell these goods even credit to the retailer if it is retailer is required a time for paying the payment. That is clear. Now retail trade in this, it means buying and selling of goods and services in a small quantity. In that, the retailer is going to purchase from wholesaler in a small lots and of different and he has different varieties of goods in his retail shop, and the customer can easily approach over there and buy the goods in a small quantity. That is clear. Next, I am going to make you understand, that is external trade. External trade are those trade which is to be in which the goods and services are to be purchased and sold beyond the geographical limit of the country, means outside of the country to the foreign country, then it is to be considered as external trade. In this, three processes are there, that is export, import and entreport. Export, in that sale of good to foreign country. From home country, when the goods are to be sold to foreign countries, then that process is to be considered as export. Next, import. Import, in that the goods and services are to be purchased by home country from another country. from another foreign countries, then it is that process is to be considered as import. Entrepot, in that import of goods means they are going to purchase the goods from one country not for consumption purpose but to sell to another country. That process is to be considered as entrepot. That is clear to everyone. Now I am going to tell you the next part, that is the aids, the tools which is to be required by commerce. So the activity the activity which help the business, which help the customer, and which help in the smooth flow of trade, smooth flow of goods and services, that activities are to be considered as the tools or auxiliary to trade. That is clear. Now in that, some common aids that is to be used by the businessman and the customer, that is first is transportation. Transportation means movement of goods from one place to another place, or you can say that movement of goods from production place to customer place. As you know, production of goods take place at one place and it is demanded all over the country, different part of the country. So this barriers can be removed by this facility, that is transport. As you, for example, tea is planted or produced in Assam, but it is demanded, so with the it is demanded every corner of the country. So with the help of transport, it can be moved from that place to different corner of the country. Next, that is banking and finance. As you know, for smooth flow or smooth running of activities of the business, obviously this businessman, they require credit facility, finance for a smooth running of business activity. For that, this barriers can be removed by the another branch of commerce, that is other tool, that is banking and finance company. It helps the people to overcome of the problem of arranging fund. They are providing the fund to the needy businessman and they can run their activity smoothly without facing any type of shortage of fund. That is clear. Next, that is insurance. That is another, as businessmen have to face a different types of risk in his business activities. So this insurance is provide the protection from that kind of risk to the, or because of that risk, what loss that is to be occurred, that is loss due to fire, due to theft or due to any accident. It protect the businessman and their fund easily, and they can be compensate and also make them the on the same position before they were there, before the accident, before the any accident took place. That is clear. Next, that is warehouse. Obviously, the whatever some goods are there which is to be produced throughout the year, and some goods are there which is to be produced seasonally. Some goods are demanded throughout the year and some goods are demanded seasonally. So whatever the time gap, it create the problem of time gap, the hindrance of time gap between the consumption and production. ठीक है ना? So in that, the warehouse facilities to be provided by the commerce to keep their goods safe and fresh, so you will not incur any type of loss. Last, that is advertising. As there is no link between the customer and manufacturer, so it creates the barriers between the customer and manufacturer, that how the manufacturer will inform about their new product, its features, its advantage to the customer. So with the help of advertising, with the help of electronic media, print media, we can inform the customer regarding the goods which is to be produced by the manufacturer. So by getting the advertisement as it is publicly, so customer have faith that with the as it is publicly they are advertised, they inform these things, so they are not going to give any false information. So people, they can trust on them and going to purchase that goods and get to aware regarding that product. That is clear. Now the next topic, that is business risk. Business risk, firstly we have to understand the meaning of it. It means chances of incurring loss or profit due to any uncertainty or any unexpected situation which are not in our control, that is to be considered as business risk. Suppose, for example, demand of the product decline due to taste and preference of the customer, change in fashion, change in competitors policy. Suppose the competitor, they are going to reduce his product price, that is a particular product, same product which one manufacturer is producing, the other one has competitor, he is reducing that price, then it will affect the demand for the product. So that type of risk that is to be occur, and it incur a loss or maybe less profit, that is to be considered as business risk. That is clear to everyone. Now I am going to make you discuss with features oblique nature of risk. Features, or we can say that nature of business risk. First feature, that business risk arise due to uncertainty. Business risk arise due to uncertainty. Uncertainty means when we are not sure that what will be happen in future. So because of that, that type of risk, that type of uncertainty, it create a risk for businessmen. For example, uncertainty like the demand can be changed when, that is also uncertainty, government policy, technology. So these risks is to be occur due to this uncertainty. That is clear. Next, it is an essential part of every business. It is an essential part of every business. But risk is essential part of every business, as it is the important feature of business, because no businessman or no business can avoid the risk. Yes, the degree may differ, the degree of risk may be differ, but risk can, and even it can be reduced, but it cannot be eliminated. We cannot think without the absence of business, without the absence of risk. That is clear. Next, degree of risk depend upon the nature and size of the business. Yes, the degree of risk is depend upon its types, its nature and its size. For example, the business which are involved in fashionable goods, obviously they have incurred more loss as comparison to those goods which are standardized in the quality, which have standard quality, which have made their image in the eyes of public, that have less risk as comparison to the risk which are fashionable, that is fashion items. That is clear. Similarly, the business which are operating at a large scale, the large scale industry, they incur more risk, they have more risk, they bear more risk, because they are investing more amount, more investment have done as comparison to the small scale business. Small scale business, they incur less risk. That is clear. Next, or the last feature, that is profit is the reward for bearing the risk. Profit is the reward for bearing the risk, as businessmen establish their business for earning profit, and because of that the businessman have to take risk, as no risk no profit, more risk more profit, less risk less profit. So every businessman, every entrepreneur, they are bearing the risk. What they are expecting, that we are bearing them, expecting that we should earn more and more profit. That's why they are taking risk. That is clear. Next, I am going to tell you, that is causes of business risk. Causes of business risk. Causes of business risk. The first cause, that is natural cause. Natural cause. As you know, nature is independent and it cannot be controlled under the human beings. Human beings, they don't have any control over the nature, over the natural causes like earthquake, flood, drought, famine. In that, we as a human being, we don't have any control, and it affects a business a very large and have incur a heavy loss also. So that type of causes uncertain factor that human being cannot be make any assumptions, make any prediction regarding it. That is clear. Next, that is human cause. Human cause when the chances of loss is related to the activities of human beings or related to the activities of employees, those who are working in the organization. How it can be bear, what type of risk can be bear in that because of that cause. Suppose the employees become dishonest, he have an assumptions, he have any thought like he become greedy, he want to earn more and more, and competitor have convince him by providing a different types of incentives to him. So he is going to mislead, he is going to leak the information of the business, the secret policy of the organization, and it will help the competitor to overcome or to win over us. Oh, it may fraud also, it may commit fraud also, but because of that the firm have to incur more loss. Even because of, as the employees, he is not working carefully, he may be work carelessly and mishandle the machinery, so because of that it incur a heavy loss to the firm and wastage of resources. That is clear. Next, that is economic cause. Economic cause, in that there is a chances of loss due to economic cause, because in that that is related to the changing market condition. Means, suppose if there will be a price fluctuation in the market, there will be a change in taste and preference, change in fashion of the customer, demand of the customer regarding the product. Even government policy can also have a direct impact, and these economic causes have a direct impact on the business, and it will affect the business very large and incur a heavy loss. If I am talking about one example I am giving that affect the business by government policy, at 1971, at that time the government, that is Janata Dal government, was there, and VP Singh, he was the prime minister. He restricted on the MNCs and asked to leave the India or foreign companies and send back from India. That is clear. And at that time the economy of our country incurred heavy loss. Last, that is physical cause. The physical cause, that is related to the damage of assets. Like, for example, if the technology is going to be changed, what technology we are going to use is going to be outdated. Suppose machinery will be defect, so because of that the accident can take place with the firm, with the employees, with the plant. So because of that we incur a heavy loss. So these are the 4 causes by which businessman can face the business risk. That is clear to everyone. Now the last topic of the chapter, that is types of business risk. The business risks are to be classified into 2 categories. One is insurable risk and another is non-insurable risk. Insurable risks are those risks which is to be recovered. As suppose if the organization is facing any type of loss, and the loss which is made to be loss which can be made good, or loss for which it is the risk in which the company, whatever the loss they are facing, they can get the compensation from the insurance company. That type of risk are called insurable risk, in which the company can get the compensation what loss they are facing due to any uncertainty. That is to be considered as insurable risk. Generally, the natural and physical insurable risks are there. Example, suppose if businessmen have taken if businessmen have taken suppose if businessmen have taken fire insurance policy, so and if he face loss, he is going to face the loss, the goods are going to be destroyed by fire, by electric, because of electric wire short circuit, so he can get the compensation from the fire insurance policy for his loss. That is clear. These are the insurable risk. Non-insurable risks are those risks which cannot be recovered, and which for that no protection is available for recovering it. That is to be considered as non-insurable risk. Generally, the economic and human risks are non-insurable risks, because if the demand will be changed, so it cannot be it is a situation, fluctuation, economic situation or human situation, that on that the insurance company cannot recover it. That is clear. That is insurable risk. The chapter have finished.